What's up guys, my name is Ace, and welcome to the second accuracy drill for Black Ops 3. Now the first accuracy drill we did, that focused on a different aspect of aim. That was focusing on hitting multiple consecutive shots after you've already hit your first shot. This one is going to be more about twitch aim, so snapping on a target as fast as possible and landing that first shot as fast as you possibly can. This one could also be classified as my reaction time drill. A lot of people have been wondering where my reaction time drill is going to be. This one is going to help your reaction time and allow you to snap on a target very quickly. Let's get into it. Alright guys, so let's just hop right into the setup of this one. For the map, I like to use Nuketown for this one, just because it's a nice small map and it's really easy to get a lot of gunfights in a very short period of time. If you don't have Nuketown or want to pick a different map, then by all means go and do that. You'll just have to adjust how many bots you're playing against. Next, we're going to go into the game mode, select free for all, and then we want to edit the game rules. So for our time and score limit, just like with the last accuracy drill, you can set this to however long you want to do this drill for, or you can just set it to unlimited and go until you're comfortable, basically. For the health and damage settings, we want to set our health to 40%. This number is very important, and I will explain exactly why we're using 40%. Later on. We just want to blast through this setup as fast as possible. Next, we want to go into create a class. We want to disable our custom classes and then increase our selections allowed to 11 rather than 10, just because that's how many points are required to make the class that I feel is best suited for this drill. So once we've done that, we want to go to edit preset classes, and this means these are the only classes that you as well as the bots can use in the game. So this right here is the class that we're going to be using for this drill. It's the XR2. And just copy all of those attachments, all of the perks, copy all of that down exactly. One thing that you can change that is optional is the red dot sight. You can put whatever sight you're comfortable with, or if you don't usually use sights, just put iron sights on there. Use what you would normally use in a real game as far as the sight goes. Next, just go down to every one of those classes and make sure every single gun on those classes has a suppressor on here. And the reason for this is quite simple. We don't want the enemies ever popping up on the minimap for this. Unfortunately, there's no ability to remove the minimap in its current state right now for custom games. So the minimap's always going to be there. I don't want the enemies popping up on this minimap ever. So just make sure they have to use a gun with a suppressor on it and they'll never pop up. The reason we don't want them to pop up on the minimap for this drill compared to the other drill where we wanted them to always be on the minimap is for this one, we want to react to what we're seeing on the screen in front of us and not plan ahead and look at the minimap. So next up, we want to set up our bots. And for Nuketown, for this drill, I find about 9 bots is best to make sure that you're running into enough gunfights. There's almost always something to shoot at, but you're not getting completely overwhelmed and constantly dying to the bots. Now, just like with the other drill, we want these bots to be recruit bots. These bots are simply targets to practice on, and on Nuketown with that many bots, you are still going to get killed and overwhelmed by bots. You might even run into some situations where you get spawn killed by bots. It's pretty funny how they're able to kill you so quickly after spawning. So you don't want to go any higher than recruit for this right now. These bots are simply targets to practice on. So that's the setup. Now let's hop into a game and I'll talk about exactly what we're going to be doing with this drill and why we're going to be doing it and how it's going to help improve your twitch aim. So it's quite simple. When you get into here, you want to try to get as many one burst kills as possible as quickly as possible. So with the last drill, I was saying start really slow and work your way up. Not with this one. Accuracy is still important, but speed is also very important with this drill. So you do want to be getting your one burst kills. You don't want to be spraying and taking multiple bursts to get a kill. So make sure you're getting your one burst kill, but do it as quickly as possible. Another thing is don't pre-aim anything. You want to be reacting to seeing your enemy. You don't want to be preparing for your enemy. So don't just sit there and aim down sight at a doorway. You're not really practicing to do anything very well in that case. You want to be moving around and only snapping on a target when you actually see a target. Now, I kind of want to explain why I set the health setting to 40% rather than like 30% or 100%. And it's quite simple. I wanted to make it so that you had to hit at least 2 out of the 3 bullets within your burst because you're using a 3-round burst gun. Now, the reason I didn't set it up so you had to hit every single bullet in a burst is I wanted to have a little bit of forgiveness with this because I didn't want your rhythm to be broken by constantly having to take 2 bursts per kill. On the other end of that, I didn't want it to be so low that you only had to hit 1 bullet out of a burst because that's way too forgiving in my mind. and it will actually potentially help you develop some really bad accuracy habits, because you can just kind of like spray across towards your enemy in the general direction and get lucky with one hit marker. So I found that hitting 2 out of 3 is just the perfect setting. So just like with the other drill, we want to keep doing this over and over and over. It's about repetition and developing a rhythm. So yes, like I said, the bots are going to end up killing you in this game. That's simply because you're playing on Nuketown, you don't have the radar always on. It's going to happen, so yes, your rhythm is going to be broken every now and then, but just respawn, get back in it, and keep going. Try to chain as many kills together as possible with one burst only. If you start taking more than one burst to get a kill, you should slow down just a little bit. It's not that difficult to hit your one burst kills, so make sure you're actually doing that, or else you'll start practicing really bad habits. So with this drill, with repetition, you will end up developing that muscle memory that just allows you to snap on target as soon as you see an enemy on your screen. You won't even have to think about it anymore. You'll just start snapping onto that target super quickly, and your twitch aim will improve significantly over time. One little disclaimer that I have to put in this video is I would recommend not doing this drill too much, and I would use it in conjunction with the other accuracy drill that I did, which again will be linked in the description below. The reason for this is if you start getting too used to being able to melt these bots super quickly, and then you try to transfer that to public matches, you might develop that habit of stopping yourself from shooting before your enemy is actually dead because you expect him to be dead, but he's not. That is something you do have to be aware of. If you only ever do this drill, and you do this drill for many hours, and then you hop into a public match, you could see a bit of an issue there because suddenly you think the enemy should be dropping instantly when they don't in reality. So use this drill in conjunction with the other drill, and you'll focus on the 2 different aspects of aim individually. For me, I really enjoy using this drill as a warm-up drill. So if I've taken a day or 2 off of gaming, and I'm hopping back in, and I'm not really feeling all that comfortable with the controller in my hand at the moment, I'll hop on, I'll do this drill for 5 or 10 minutes, or however long until I get comfortable, and it just helps me kind of get my head into the game so that I'm snapping onto those targets very quickly without having to think too much about it. So I thought I'd just kind of field a few questions that I'm anticipating with this video. A lot of them are taken from the questions I got in the last drill. And the biggest one is, can I use a different gun? Or can I use a different map? Or something like that. Of course you can. Just be very careful about changing too much with this drill, because then you might be kind of getting away from the goal of this drill. So I wouldn't recommend using a full auto for this. You can if you want, like I said. But just be aware that I find that the XR2 is literally the best gun in the game for this particular drill, and it's there for a reason. So take that for what it's worth. Also, the map, I find Nuketown's the best. If you don't have Nuketown, play a different map, but just adjust the bots accordingly, so you're finding gunfights easily without being overwhelmed. Another question that I'm also anticipating, for those of you that haven't seen my sensitivity video yet, is what sensitivity should I be using for this drill? Well, I will just link the sensitivity video in the description below along with that previous accuracy drill, and I'll link it on screen right here. Go and watch that. That's a great video to help point you in the right direction as far as finding the perfect sensitivity for you. So if you have any other questions about this drill, let me know in the comment section below. I'll do my best to answer those. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.